I may make a very small play on his stock. I don't know really much about it, but and actually a lot of times when you read something on the internet, you're not going to get valid information. But I've been talking about this industrial hemp for a little bit, but this is basically called not industrial hemp, it's called Marijuana Inc. HEMP.PK. It's on a pink sheet. So in other words, you know, it's a dangerous stock to buy, but it's 2 cents a share. I might do a very small play on it and see where it goes. Now, if these, what I sense though, is a lot of times people that are into this, they really believe in their product. And, you know, I saw a related story with this. Marijuana Inc. increases its herbal nutraceutical footprint with Wild Herb Naturals brands. This might take off as a cult following. I don't want to bet a big amount of money on this, though. It's kind of a wild card bet. Do a very small amount. But I'm pretty sure I'm going to do a little bit on this. And, you know, it could actually go up quite a bit. And I'll be kicking myself for not doing a hell of a lot, but I'm doing a very small amount on this because I think this is kind of well, it's a gamble. It's a gamble, but my senses tell me that this might have a big cult following. For instance, you know, there is a lot of people, like I said before, I don't smoke any weed, but I do believe in the industrial hemp, and I know that even marijuana, the THC that's inside the hemp oil has very cancer, so it can work very well for medicinal purposes and in other ways. But I know people who don't smoke marijuana, and I'm not one of the people that smoke marijuana, but I believe in the industrial hemp because it'll solve the fuel crisis and everything like that, and price of gasoline and the quality food supply, and you know, number of things that have to be used to grow products where you don't need that many pesticides or that much fertilizer, and you don't need any herbicides with industrial hemp. So this stock might take off. It's a hunch. How's that? It's a hunch because, you know, I was going to really look up really hard about this, and I started thinking to myself, no matter what the heck I find on the internet about this damn stock, it could be just a bunch of BS. You know, I don't know who these people are, and I don't know what they're up against, even if they're sincere. But I got a gut feeling that they're very sincere people that believe in their product. It's not something where they're just looking for some money, and we're going to open up doors and look for investors, and we're going to take off when the stock price goes up. I doubt that's good. Well, right now it's only 2 cents a share, so I might get some of this. You know, I want to comment some more. You know, I never really heard of this guy too much, Lindsey Williams, till not that long ago. And I heard of stuff where he had that Ken Fromm thing. That was an accurate prediction he made back in 2008. And boy, they just played that up like crazy. But here's something else. And I assume, you know, Ken Fromm was alive. I want to highlight this because this guy is really... God. You know, I don't want to be negative about this or like attack him per se, but I really see a lot of things he says. I really see another motive behind him. He's a wheeler dealer, really. Now I noticed this posted on a site called unexplainedmysteries.com forum. This was way back, but I was looking for something that was posted on some of his older predictions. Well, you know, he's just like Bob Chapman, the same kind of garbage. You know, if you look back when the dollar was going to be replaced by a new dollar, Bob Chapman would be telling you that same garbage. Back in 2010, 2011, now he'd be saying it this year. He said it like so many months ago. And these guys are a bunch of irresponsible fearmongers. They really are. There should be some fear out there. You should protect your money with real assets. I'm not saying that, but, you know, well, let me put it this way. Posted January 30th, 2010. Here's what Pastor Lindsey Williams is forecasting for 2010. The U.S. dollar will lose 30 to 50% of its value. And this is when Kim Fromm was alive, so he was getting it from that elite guy. That didn't happen. Anything in paper, such as stocks, 401ks, IRAs, anything, kiss it goodbye. Well, guess what? That didn't happen. China will be the world's new superpower, and the U.S. will become second or third world nation, but this won't happen this year, but signs of it will be. All right. Gold and silver, gold and silver, gold and silver, as much as possible. He said so. Yeah, you know what? I swear to God, the middle class is being set up with this stuff. I know it's too low. I wouldn't sell it just yet, but these guys, you know, I'm going to comment something else about this. Maybe it's going to be more controversial, but just bear with me. He said there will be no food shortages in the U.S. at all. We will import everything. And you know what? The food prices haven't gone up that much. It's BS. It's BS. He says people will be so broke that they won't be able, they will starve. That's what he said. The war with Iran is back on the table, but they don't want to start it until a year to a year and a half. So they should have started it already. This was 2010. So his predictions, he is mainly a guy selling his game. And I don't want to get into, like, I don't know what his financial angle is or anything else like that. But I do know that, you know, wow, I'll tell you the truth, you know, I'm not really anti-religious, but I find out any people that are extremely religious are bad news. I found this out many times. I don't care what religion they are. If they're really radical with their own religion, they're bad news. And I mistrust a lot of people going around telling people, you know, with the cloth on, what's going to happen, the world's going to end, and I'm here to save you, give me money. Because, yeah, I know he sells DVDs, but this guy is making out different ways. I'll guarantee you he is. He is. And, you know, when you got the religion behind you, you got the tax-free foundation garbage going on, too. It's a lot different. It's a whole other business setup, and it's pretty nice. Now, I'm going to say something here controversial. Now, I'm not being anti-Jewish or anti-Semitic, but I want to point out that there's so much anti-Semitism in the United States that if Lindsey Williams was saying this as a rabbi and he said all this crap wrong like this, you would hear it 50 million times and he would be nailed all the way, that he was setting up everybody else and they were screwing him over and they were doing all this crap. But no, he's a pastor. You know, I think he's a bunch of snake oil. He's a pastor, and all these Christians believe him because he's a pastor. I don't believe nothing he says now, period. I don't buy none of it. And I think he's just selling his game, period. Period. I don't care how he says it or what he says. I don't buy none of it. But I did want to point out that if he was a rabbi saying the same thing, you know what, the public perception would be like really against this guy all the way. So, you know, I think people ought to maybe if they, in their mind, just think of him as Rabbi Lindsey Williams. Maybe you might understand, you know, if you think that way, what the heck this guy is about. Because he's a load of it, basically. He really is. He's a pastor. Now, I look at a pastor, I normally see snake oil. You know, I see Jerry Falwell or some garbage, you know. I've seen too much of this garbage, and I've seen how much they make behind the scenes, and how much they report, and all this other garbage, and they're a load of it. That's my opinion on them. And actually, I find most religious people that are way into their religion, they're a load of it. But this guy is still pumping his crap, the same exact message he's pumped since 2010. Sky's falling. It may be true. It may be true. But he definitely has no inside information. There's no inside information this guy's got. None. Zero. Zero. And I find that very annoying that people are just jumping on his crap like he knows something. He doesn't know something. Now, I want to say right now, because I like stating what I'm going to do, this could be a screw up, and I'm not going to put much money on it. But I'm going to buy a tiny bit of this hemp pink sheets, see where it goes. I got a feeling that this is going to do quite well. I wish I knew it was going to do quite well because I would bet a whole pile on it, but I don't have a crystal ball, and I don't like buying anything that says PK on it, pink sheets, and you don't know because this is not an established company. And I would imagine the pharmaceutical companies don't want any competition from Marijuana Inc., with their medicinal marijuana. But, I also find this very interesting that, Lindsey Williams will bring out all this garbage about, the petroleum industry and all this crap. Well, you know what? If I was Lindsey Williams and I had his kind of media attention, I'd skip all the garbage about, oh, the elite are going to bring the gasoline prices over $5 a gallon. I'd put the message out to grow industrial hemp. Gas problem solved. It grows way more ethanol or hempoline than corn does, by far. It only takes 4 months for the stuff to grow like 15 feet high. You get a fully mature product. And it requires a lot less fertilizer. It doesn't require any herbicides, and it requires hardly any pesticides. So there's your energy crisis solved. Screw the oil industry. You don't need them. They're useless. And you know what? Anybody can grow this stuff. Crap, people can grow it in their backyards and sell it 4 months later. Here, pick it up. They can have all kinds of things out there that, you just grow it and somebody comes along and harvests it and gives you a cut. You don't even do that work. Maybe you'll just get paid less, right? Big deal. You'll still get money for it for doing nothing. So what the hell, right? That's a solution that's actually real. And I really don't trust this guy. Basically, not at all. But I did have to interject that stuff about him being a pastor, because that's what brings about everybody's trust. Because there's the majority of people are Christians, so they see a pastor, a man in a cloth. He talks nice. He's got the right inflection of voice. He knows how to put it on. Well, I don't buy any of that garbage, but I know how people can put it on like they're very sincere. They really care. But yeah, if he was anything else other than a pastor, I use the word rabbi, but say he was somebody who he was a Muslim saying this or whatever, the same thing. Everybody be attacking the heck out of him, So that's part of his angle, that people trust what he says. I don't like this guy. More I've been digging into this stuff. It's the same spiel. It's the same garbage. And if you wanted an answer to the economic crisis, it's industrial hemp. Now, I'm going to buy a little bit of his stock. I don't know what the hell. It's not industrial hemp. It's Marijuana Inc. And it's about medicinal marijuana. And they're producing their wild herb naturals blend. It's an herbal nutraceutical footprint they're opening up with this wild herb naturals brands, and I say they're competition with the oil industry. So I'm going to put some of my 2 cents into this stuff. Well, more than 2 cents, but I'm not going to put much money into this. That's something I'm going to do. It could be a screw up, so don't follow up what I'm doing, but I think it's a good cause. And my gut reaction is I think these people really, from this Marijuana Inc., I think they really believe in what they're doing. And, sometimes it can have a cult following. Well, they'll have a lot of good customers, a lot of good repeat customers coming back. So this Marijuana Inc. might do very well. But as far as this guy with his... God, I don't know. This guy drives me crazy because... I got zero respect for this guy now because I'm looking back to these predictions he's made. He reminds me of the same snake oil garbage he used to have from the 1800s. And he's just selling a line. That's all he's doing. I don't know what the heck, and now I'm really not trusting his buy gold, silver, buy gold, silver. At one point in time, not now, don't sell it right now, but just the middle class get slaughtered on this gold and silver. They are, because of guys like this. So, anyway.